An introduction to the New York State Social Studies Framework for Kindergarten. Hello, I'm Jeff Kresge, and I serve as the District Instructional Coach for the Jamestown Public Schools. In an effort to make the New York State frameworks easier to access and understand, I will create a series of short videos that will come out about once a month on how you can be covering social studies frameworks in your classroom. A quick glance at the headlines from the social media feed is all proof we need that teaching of social studies is more relevant than ever in today's world. As a society, it would seem that we are lacking in empathy, understanding, and a willingness to take even a bit of time to research things on our own. This is where the teaching of social studies can become a powerful tool both in your classroom and in the world today. The teaching of social studies aims to create open-minded learners who thoughtfully tackle questions through facts and research, not raw emotion and ill-informed opinion. The New York State Frameworks has 9 different standards for the teaching of social studies at the kindergarten level. There is no requirement as to how or when teachers cover these standards. Likewise, these standards do not have to be taught as a standalone. In fact, I would urge you to integrate them into what you're already doing to make your work that much more meaningful. To support you in your work, I will cover one of the 9 standards in a short video each month during the school year. Again, you don't have to cover that standard in that order or during that month. However, I hope the videos will serve as a guide or reminder that you're on the right track. Here's a quick overview of all 9 standards for kindergarten found in the New York State Social Studies Framework. I'll use the actual language from the framework and then provide an example question and some topics of study that might help you teach those standards. Standard 1. Children's sense of self is shaped by experiences that are unique to them and their families, and by common experiences shared by a community or nation. A question that you can ask kids to get at that standard is, who am I? Topics of study that you could include are, maybe perhaps the students create a book about me, including their talents, hobbies, skills, race, ethnicity, gender, likes, dislikes, and their family members. Standard number 2. Children, families, and communities exhibit cultural similarities and differences. A question that you could ask kids to hit this standard is, what do I have in common with my classmates, community, and nation? Topics of study could be holidays, birthdays, culture, native languages, and students could describe the similarities and differences between students in the class and then build respect for those differences. Standard 3. Symbols and traditions help develop a shared culture and identity within the United States. A question you could ask kids is, how do different groups celebrate holidays? Topics of study could be diverse cultural groups, American and other cultural symbols, holidays and celebrations such as the Pledge of Allegiance, the Bald Eagle, and our national anthem. Standard number 4. Children and adults have rights and responsibilities at home, at school, in the classroom, and in the community. Questions you could ask your kids could be, what rights do all people have? Or, how can we help people get these basic rights? Topics of study could be the basic human rights of food, clothing, shelter, safety, and education, as well as what does it mean to be an active citizen. Standard 5. Rules affect children and adults, and people make and change rules for many reasons. Questions that you could ask students to hit these standards would be, what are the rules for fire, water, traffic, school, and home safety? And why do we have these rules and laws? Topics of study could be classroom rules or create new rules to support students in the class. Standard 6. Maps and globes are representations of the Earth's surface that are used to locate and better understand places and regions. We could ask kids, where are we? And topics of study could be globes versus maps, find things on a map, or words and phrases used to indicate direction such as up, down, near, far, left, right, back, forward, next to, or between. Standard 7. People and communities are affected by and adapt to their physical environment. Questions that we could ask would be, how are we affected by our environment? Topics of study, seasonal changes, and how seasons affect people and the communities. Standard 8. The past, present, and future describe points in time and help us examine and understand events. An example question that would get at this standard would be, when is the past, present, and future. And topics of study could be folk tales, legends, stories, and music to cover the concept of time, and vocabulary such as first, next, last, before and after, later and sooner, yesterday, tomorrow, and today. Standard 9, the final standard. People have economic needs and wants. Goods and services can satisfy people's wants. Scarcity is the condition of not being able to have all the goods and services that a person wants or needs. A question we could ask our students to get at that standard is, how do we get what we need? And topics of study could be scarcity and the examples of scarcity, the basic human needs of food, clothing, and shelter, and needs versus wants. Again, these have been the 9 standards from the New York State Frameworks for Social Studies for Kindergarten. It matters not when or how you convey these to the students. Please make every effort to make your lessons fun, challenging, and engaging for students. And please remember that if you should need any help, lesson ideas, or further explanation of any of the social studies standards, please don't hesitate to contact me at Jeffrey A. Kresge at jpsny.org or by phone at 716-483-4393 or use extension 7033. I thank you for the work that you're doing and helping to create the active citizens of tomorrow.